Hey Crazy Cats, Mike from the WCA. I want to give you a quick video tutorial here and then walk you over to chesskid.com to show you how you can back up what you just learned and practice a little bit more. We're going to take a look at the two bishop checkmate today, which is not the most important checkmate in the world because you probably might, I don't know, you may never play this in a tournament game. It could come up, but knowing how to do this is actually very helpful for your chess because it teaches you how to coordinate the bishops, which basically means how to get the bishops to work together along with our king here. And just knowing those basic patterns can help you when you start doing more complicated work with bishops, which we'll naturally do together in class and you will be doing on chesskid.com. Okay, let's study this just a little bit. I want to add something to this screen at some point to give you an idea of just how powerful these bishops are. If I took the screen and I did this to it, see if you can appreciate what's happening as I'm darkening these squares. Do you see why I chose these squares with my mouse? They're actually the tails or the points of where the bishops are pointing at or in the direction of, because that king can't use any of those squares. Now, of course, they're pointing down, but I'm not interested in down because the guy that I want to capture or checkmate is up here, right? So let me continue highlighting. Wow, this is so exciting. I feel like I'm a scientist creating this original pattern, although it's not original. Anyway, these two bishops standing side by side create this really interesting, man, I don't know. What is this? What kind of shape did I make with these green squares? The king, unfortunately, is trapped inside this like upside down tunnel. I don't know what you want to call this thing, but as long as you don't move those two bishops, he can never escape that area. Now, if you think about it, if he's on this line, then he can spend time going left and right, and he might feel safer here because he's closer to the middle. He's not going to feel safe at all eventually when we checkmate him in one of the corners, and trust me, that is going to happen. But for the time being, this guy's going to want to hang out in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to sneak our king up the board while our two bishops are lined up like this. And once we can get him away from these two lines, he's going to have to move up a box. And when he does, we're going to bring our two bishops up again to line them up here and here. And that's going to change our pattern even more. And eventually, if we can keep repeating this, pushing the king higher and higher and higher, we're eventually going to get him to the point where he's going to be trapped on one of the frames and we're going to be able to force him into the corner. Okay, now I changed the position on the board to make it look completely random because this could easily happen in a real game. So this doesn't look anything like what I showed you at the beginning, but watch what happens if I know that after I play a move like bishop d4, this was my last move here, bishop d4, it was here. So I'm playing against a computer program called Komodo, which is really, really powerful. Trust me, if he had a full set of pieces, it would crush me. But I have two bishops and this computer only has a king, so he's in big trouble. Why did I play bishop to d4? Because no matter what the computer does, I'm going to be able to line my two bishops up like I showed you in the first clip. So in the game, the computer went up here to e6. So can you see how I can line my two bishops up? Very good. I played bishop to e4. And like I said, the computer even knows that going up is probably going to get him in trouble. So he decided to stay as close to the middle as possible. Well, these two squares are the only two places the king can go. Well, I know that if he wants to stay on that line. So what I did was I brought my king up. He had to move. He chose king e6. I played king e3, king d6, king f4, king e6, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle around this way and eventually kick him off of this line. Not hard to do. I would love to come here, but I can't. It's illegal. I could come here, however, and wait for him to move. If he goes up on his own, I'll be happy, because then I'll be able to lift the bishops up and start a whole new line. But he played king to d6, and now after a move like king f6, you'll see that he can no longer stay on the 6th rank. Can't come here because there's a bishop here, right? So he chose the square king d7. Now this is the important part that you have to master or memorize. And look, if you had another coach or somebody who taught you this, there's more than one way to do a 2-bishop checkmate. I'm just showing you the one pattern that I learned because it works every single time. And then I want you to take it over to chesskid.com and use their workout section where you can play against their computer and try it out a few times, okay? Now, let's go back and watch very carefully to what just happened. Let's go back. I had played from here king f6, and if you remember why, I don't want this guy going back and forth on the 6th line. I want to kick him off and push him to the top. Once he goes to d7, the next thing we want to do, guys, is we want to lift both of these bishops up so that we have the same exact pattern we had a second ago, except it's one line closer to this edge of the board, which is the direction I'm pushing him in. The trick is only lift the bishop that doesn't allow the king back to where he was. Well, if it was black's turn and he wanted to come back up the board, could he come here? No, there's a bishop here. Could he come here? No, there's a king there. But could he come here? The answer is, of course, yes. So then what you do is lift this bishop somewhere on this line, and you could pick either square. So in the game, I chose bishop to c5. And you see that the king still can't come up to this line. The computer chose to go to c7, and then I simply lifted the bishops up. They said hello to each other again. Hello, bishop. Hello, bishop. Hello, Josh, the real Josh. And life is good. The king has to move. Well, where did he go? Well, he stayed near the middle because he probably thinks it's safer there. And my plan was very simple. I want to push him to the top again. How did I do it? I came around the outside with my king. He took a step here to stay up on that 7th rank, and then we just squeeze him out with our king. And look carefully again, and you'll see that these squares here that I'm highlighting are all covered by those bishops. Remember that pattern we made way back before? Look at that. The king is stuck inside that, and these are the only 2 boxes that he can go to. And once we put our king here, he can no longer use that square. Okay, so king c8. Did he just go up? He did. What are we supposed to do? Bring our bishops up here. Can we cheat and move them both at the same time? No, we cannot. So which bishop can we lift to make sure that this king can no longer come to this line? Now, I'm not going to give you any hints. Which one of the 2 bishops should we move? No hints. Is it going to be the light squared bishop or the dark squared bishop? Can you figure it out? Which one? Yes, it's the dark squared bishop. We're going to put it here. How'd you get that without a hint? Amazing. Why do we put it here? He can't come up. He comes here. That's his only legal move. Our next step, make our bishops lined up again together, and then the king moves. You've basically completed the most difficult part. Now the key is to get your king to come around the short side of these bishops. When the bishops are lined up like this, you're going to see that there's usually a short side or a long side. You see these 5 empty boxes? There's only 1 empty here. When that happens, bring your king around to the short side. And I'm going to show you why. King d6, he only has 1 move. Basically, as we're bringing our king around, and these are the exact moves of the game, We want to be able to control the squares near the corner with our king. That's going to free this bishop to start creating checkmating problems. Bishop goes to c8. Okay, now how do we get this king into the corner for checkmate? We start by playing a move like bishop to e8. What does that do? Well, he can't come here because of the dark squared bishop, so he has to take a step here, right? All right, now I want to get him into the corner temporarily, so I play bishop to d7. He has to go in the corner. Okay, this would be a huge mistake. If I let go of this, it is stalemate. Oops, the black king cannot move. You do not want to play that. What you want to do is play a check on this diagonal. Well, it's not check because the king's on a8. So what do is we bring this bishop back, wait for him to move, and now can you see the checkmate in 2 moves? Bishop d6, king has to go in the corner, and checkmate. Okay, now I'm going to take you over to chesskid.com and you'll be able to see it work over there.